What's up, Cowboys Nation? Your boy Mike Tag here again. Just relaxing, man. Get a little R&R, little vacation, but seeing what the Cowboys are doing, and not too much, right? So day 3, that's when the Cowboys kind of get a few things going. Typically, I think we've all, know that they're not big spenders, but in the first few days, but we all held out hope that maybe things will change. But really, Eric Kendricks, good signing. Familiar with Zimmer's system, had really good years with him in Minnesota, was an all-pro, Pro Bowler. So that's a positive signing. Middle linebacker, tackling machine. So I think that's a step in the right direction, but obviously it's not there yet. We keep losing people, and if you're familiar with the show, and if you're not, make sure you hit that subscribe, like, and share, all that kind of good stuff. My man, Neville Gallimore, what am I going to do with my intro? Neville Gallimore did the intro for a couple years and always bringing the hype to Cowboys Nation. He did the perfect intro, and now he's down in Miami. So he's down in the 305. That's not too far from me, so maybe we'll get to see him a little bit down in Miami, and obviously wish him well. But, the Cowboys got work to do. But, as everyone knows, and, everyone knows it. I know some people like to remind Cowboys Nation of that whenever they post a tweet. They gotta restructure some deals, extend some contracts to free up some money if they want to do some signings. So they're very limited in their signings, and to me, you gotta get that cap relief. That should have been done weeks ago. You should be prepared in case something comes up. Okay, yeah, maybe they don't want to go all in like Jerry said and sign a bunch of free agents and this and that, but at least be prepared for if the right opportunity came, you could pull the trigger. And they haven't really done it. CD, I don't know why, because that price tag's not going down. It would give cap relief because they'd be able to spread out that money a little bit on the back end. Dak Prescott, I'm still trying to figure it out. Still trying to understand it. Do they want him? Do they don't want him? Do they want to move on? What are they going to go in a 1-year kind of deal and see what happens? If that's the case, fine. But you could still get some other deals done. You could restructure Diggs if you wanted to. We all know the cap is kind of that moving target. It's a game that everyone plays. I'm not going to buy into the whole pie and only so much pie and this pie and that pie, because you see teams that have high-priced players that are making moves and making things happen. So Philly's made a couple good moves. You got to give them credit. Washington's been very aggressive. I think they overpaid for a lot of people, but that's what you do when you have a lot of salary cap. You can get into that situation where you start overpaying for players. I saw Ridley get 4 years, $92 million from the Titans. I couldn't believe that. So at least I'll give the Cowboys credit. They haven't really fallen into that trap so much, but they should be making strategic moves. And I think, getting Kendricks, I think that's one strategic move. Hearing about A.J. Dillon, big back, that's what we need. Good pass protection. I think they're going to get a running back in the draft. So it's really just getting a veteran guy and then going into the draft to get some young juice. So if they get Dillon, I'm not going to do backflips off this balcony into the woods, but it's a positive sign. At least they're getting something, because right now that running back room is looking pretty thin, to say the least. And I saw a couple tweets about Deuce Vaughn, being a number 1. That ain't happening. I think he's going to be one of those guys that can be a change of pace, can be one of those gadget running backs. You throw him out in the passing game, you get him out in the backfield in space. He's a guy that needs space. And, NFL, there's some big boys up the middle, and he would take a hurting if he tried to be the number 1. And I think utilizing his skills best could make him a force, and also in the return game, if they do decide to move on from anyone else, they've got some options there too. So it'll be interesting. But tonight in the cave, Kelly K9 going to be talking about it. I'm hoping I'll be able to jump in. You don't know how the Wi-Fi is when you're out in the mountains, man. It's kind of hit or miss. So hopefully it's going to be good, so I'll be joining. But make sure you guys do tune in. It's going to be a lot of fun. I know Kelly's been pretty vocal on Twitter. He's been upset about some things, and Cowboy Nation's been upset and frustrated, and I get it. I get it. And I know, people have given me heat saying, hey, you shouldn't go to any games, and you shouldn't, you're supporting the problem. What am I supposed to do, man? I'm a Cowboys fan. I love the team, but more importantly, I love hanging out with Cowboys Nation. And, those trips to Dallas, they're memorable for me. And I get to hang out with, I made a lot of new friends. I get to hang out with some friends that really I only get to see them at the game. So what is it, 2 or 3 times a year I get to see them. I could sell my tickets, and all they're going to do is go to someone else, maybe the opposing team. So Jerry's not going to be hurting. If you guys really want to do something, if there's really a swell of anger and you want to make a statement, go to the game and stage a walkout. In the first quarter, everyone walk out of the stadium. That, to me, would do more than just selling your tickets because someone else is going to get them. Cowboy fans, if you're really that upset, let's go. First quarter, everyone get up, walk out, and let's hang out in the parking lot and party. Outside of the Miller Lite Club. Don't give them none of our money. You go out there and you party. That would be a message, because that would be on national TV. The commentators would be talking about it. Everybody would be talking about it all over the news, and that would make Jerry look pretty bad. If that's the way you really feel. I want to wait and see what this team does. I know last year, this was it's a broken record. There was a lot of anger, and all of a sudden you see the Cowboys sign Gilmore. They get Cooks, and everyone's like, oh man, they got some pieces to the puzzle. Because like I said, this isn't a blow the team up. It's strategic acquisitions that you can make to improve this team. And I know we lost some guys, but let's just be honest. We lost some guys, but all these are the same guys that were part of that blowout in Green Bay, or part of some of the disappointment. So you maybe need some fresh faces. You're going to keep your core. You just can't go cutting Dak Prescott. You ain't going to go cutting CeeDee Lamb, Micah Parsons. You ain't going to be stupid and do any of that. Jimmy Johnson, for all you Jimmy fans, he had a pecking order, and it's been talked about a million times. Aikman, Emmett, Irvin, Ken Norton Jr., Haley, all the top guys. There was a pecking order. The mid-tier guys, they better watch themselves. They were expendable, and they knew it. And I think you just need to create that kind of culture with the Cowboys to make people just be more accountable. It's accountability of each other. So maybe some fresh faces isn't the worst thing that can happen. So hopefully they get some more stuff going today. They always tend to be a little bit more active, in the last few days, but they're going to have to get some restructure done to free up some cap space to make things happen. So hopefully they'll do it. But again, I appreciate it, man. I'm just checking out. I'm enjoying myself. I don't know about you guys, but I'm enjoying myself in the mountains. R&R is always a good thing. Did a little hiking yesterday. I'm still recovering from that, by the way. Going to be doing a little bit more today, having a good time and just kind of relax. Then got one more day and drive back on Saturday. Maybe enjoy a little St. Patty's Day on Sunday and back to the grind on Monday, man. The week goes by so fast, but I always say, man, if you can get away just to kind of clear the mind, it's always a good thing. I didn't, when I planned it out, I didn't know that, I didn't think about free agency. So kind of, maybe I would have changed my plans, but I really couldn't because it's spring break. My kids are all doing something, so it's an opportunity for my wife and I to kind of get away for ourselves. So anyway, I appreciate it. I hope we see you guys down in the cave tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 Dallas time. We're going to have a good show. And again, if you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button, man. Help your boys out. We're trying to build a good channel, bringing a lot of content, a lot of interviews. I lined up another former Cowboy offensive lineman from the Landry, kind of in the Jimmy Johnson era, but the stories and the history that you learn about the team is like no other when you talk to former players. I love it. Hopefully you guys love it too, but I just love going back and just listening to how things were in the locker room or how players are really thinking about certain situations. And, the guest we've got on is Crawford Kerr. And the unique thing about him, he was a lineman. He blocked for Tony Dorsett, Herschel Walker, and Emmitt Smith. Played for Coach Tom Landry, played for Jimmy Johnson. He was kind of part of that old guard that was kind of getting moved out, right? Getting moved out when Jimmy came in. And so it's really interesting to hear his stories. We talked for a little bit, on the phone, getting everything set up, and just some of the stories are great. But, Kevin Gogan, if you watch that interview, he brought him up because he said he's a funny guy and he's got great stories, and was telling the one, with the game on the Monday night game where there was a threat on Tom Landry's life and they dressed up a coach. to kind of protect Tom Landry in case there was a sniper in the building, and they asked Crawford to stand next to him. He's like, I ain't standing next to him, man. You crazy? So he's fun. He's got some good stories. Great businessman. He had a chain of restaurants in the area that I live now. With the Wing House, and had an opportunity to meet Emmitt Smith there one time. At Too Tall Jones, I met there one time. Terrell Davis, I met there one time. So he's had different things. So he's still active, and he's still very active with the Cowboys and really what's going on in the NFL. So I think it'll be some great conversation. So that'll be coming up in April 11th. So make sure you guys tune in for that. And then we got a great Cowboys fan coming in from Instagram next Thursday. So we got a lot of stuff going on. It's the off season, but we're getting this thing cranked up. So again, I appreciate all the support. If you hadn't subscribed yet, please take a minute and do it. Enjoy the day. Hopefully I see you tonight if my internet's working. If not, I know Kelly's going to lock it down. He's going to hold it down. He's going to be passionate because I know he's got a lot to say. So I appreciate everything. You guys have a great day. It's been a beautiful week in Blue Ridge. I'm telling you, man, if you guys ever get a chance to come up here, man, ain't nothing like it. Nothing like it, especially from a guy who grew up in Florida. So you guys take care. Have a good one.